Might as well.
Cool. And we have 2 recorders all set?
Yep.
Do we have 2 speakers all set?
Yeah. I'm good.
All right, whenever you're ready then.
The age of being a basement-dwelling gamer is long gone. We now live in a world that is more connected and driven by video games than ever before. And today we're here to talk to you about why video games should be a more common occurrence than they already are. Hello everyone, my name is Brody.
And I'm Cameron.
And today, along with our significant research on the topic, we have both been part of the video game and esports community for as long as we can remember. Now I know that you might be thinking, I don't care about video games, but this is important for everyone that's willing to be an American citizen in the near future. Because according to Brett Hutchins in his article, Signs of Meta Change in the Second Modernity, video games are going to be a cultural staple soon in the United States due to the growth of digital media and technology. So if you're going to stay an American citizen, you might as well know a little bit about our community before it becomes something that's a cultural staple. So today we're going to talk about some of the problems in our community, some misconceptions and how to clear them up with solutions, and what a world might look like if what we said comes to fruition. So first we need to address some of the common issues in our community, the biggest being Americans who are unwilling to change their attitudes about video games. This will lead to a sense of dysphoria for people who wish to create a more traditional view if the second modernity hits. But at the same time, we already have current issues with this as well, being that the same people that are unwilling to change their mind will most likely at least have one friend, family member, or close loved one who is in the community, which could create communication issues. And it's also hard at the same time to truly experience culture when we already have smartphones and laptops which are going to connect to games, and if you're afraid of those or unwilling to open your mind to them, you're going to have an overall sense of dysphoria with yourself. Now I'm going to pass it off to Cameron to talk about more struggles and opportunities in our community.
So growing up with parents that are very much against video games and very strict on them, it's very easy to see how the public could have misconceptions about video games, with how they think it leads to zero opportunities, dead ends, and then there's a lack of socialization. But in reality, this is very not true. There's a company called Riot Games that has 2,500 employees ranging from psychologists to coaches to even shoutcasters. There are so many more opportunities in video games themselves than playing video games. Plus, in an article by Jin Ha called Understanding Appeals of Video Games, there's a lot more to video games than just playing a game. There's a lot of emotion inside it. In the article, it talks about how gamers feel nostalgia, accomplishment, competition, and they have real feelings attached to these characters and stories that they are playing out. Plus, there is a big socialization factor with video games. Not many people tend to look at it, but if you look at games like Mario Kart and Super Smash Bros., they are typically played on a couch with your friends. I have seen friend groups completely merge together and friends that have just come out of nowhere with these games, and they create bonds and friends. Plus, as a counselor, I have seen children come to camp very shy and closed off, not wanting to talk to people. But then I go up to the child and I'm like, hey, do you know about Pokemon? Do you know about Yu-Gi-Oh? What about Mario? And he starts to open up. And by the end, we have a trusting relationship, and he considers me one of his role models and friends because I asked him about video games. Also, in video games, there's single player games, but then there's also massive multiplayer online games, like League of Legends, Overwatch, or CSGO, where you are pitted against a team, and you have a team yourself where you have to work together, and you have to use strategy, communication to accomplish a goal. And if you don't work together, you won't achieve that goal. So now, while knowing some of the positives is good, it's useless without practice. So I'm going to give it off to Brody to talk about a world with more video games.
So what would a world look like if what we said came to fruition? Well, first of all, we would have a multitude of new networks and entertainment availabilities with just a few simple clicks, more than what we already do. Now this is good for both casual and competitive gamers, as we'll have a higher demand and supply for a multitude of new types of 24-hour access games, which not only helps people who just casually want to play games, but for people who have tight schedules such as like night shifts who don't have time to be playing with their friends all the time. Now, at the same time, video games, like Cameron mentioned earlier, have a wide range of emotions such as fellowship and nostalgia that can't necessarily be found for everyone in traditional activities or work, which means that it will increase the quality of life and sense of achievement for these individuals. But video games aren't just about the entertainment. Like Cameron said as well, there are many job opportunities that come with video games, and if the demand becomes higher for them, we'll see an increase in developing technology, in people who need to create soundtracks for musicals, and for people who are also going to develop the games themselves are going to have higher payments. They're going to have more opportunities to do the craft that they love, and we are also going to see more organizational teams as well. So with the popularization of gaming, the economy will see a rise as well. So I'm going to pass it back to Cameron, who's going to wrap up our talk on video games.
So with the information that Brody gave us, we can see that video games, whether you play them competitively or casually, have a higher prevalence in the world. And a lot of the stigmas that do exist shouldn't exist because they really don't have any ground. So with that, I would like to say, go out and play some video games. Go find something you like, and dive into a world that's driven by video games. Thank you.